views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Oh, my goodness, everybody. Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house. We're going to be talking about, seance, magic, or religion. For those of you that know Dr. Susan Barnes, you know her because of her fabulous show, but more importantly, international medium, communication professor, spirit artist, all of the above. And she's got a super announcement for all of you today. I want to make sure you take a look and check her out at spiritartgallery.net. But more importantly, this show today is looking at what is this? What is the seance? Now, for those of you out there, let's just be clear. All of you saw the movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, and you saw that movie. That did more to bring a level of awareness about all of this, whether it be Dr. Susan right or wrong. It really shot the conversation through the roof. But today, we're going to get the real deal. Also, I want to tell Benny, we are taking calls. We're taking calls. Why? Because what Dr. Susan does is amazing. 1-800-930-2819. I'm suggesting you get in the queue here today if you want to work with Dr. Susan on air. 1-800-930-2819. Dr. Susan, great to have you here. Hey, before we jump into this, I want to get an update. I wonder if you could tell us what you've been up to. You're always up to something great.
Oh, yes, I'm always up to something. Well, I have to say that my house is all finished, and I now have a group where I'm doing seances with me in Lilydale. And so if anyone's in the area, let me know. We can arrange something. But more importantly, when I was in England a couple of weeks ago, I hooked up with Robin Foy, who is one of the leading physical mediumship researchers, and I am now the American liaison for the Spiritual Science Foundation, and we're trying to do studies on physical mediumship.
You know, we are starting to get, Dr. Susan, a lot of publicity, and let me just put it in one category, and I want you to talk about this. Let's just call it energy for a moment. We're getting our pop culture mainstream, a television show about a gentleman they're following around, doing distance healing. I mean, how far, in your opinion, have we come? Or am I just living in Gaga land?
No, you're not. What's really happening right now, and I'm going to have it on my show this week, there's a lot of earth vibrations and changes that are going on right now. So more of all of this spiritual stuff is coming to the surface. And I mean, we can even see it with some of the things going on in the news. I mean, look at how women are now taking a stand against all the men that neglected them. I mean, this is all part of it. It's all part of kind of blowing the surface off of things and trying to make us become more spiritual.
Yeah. Okay, so can I take a stretch to kind of get the ball rolling here a little bit? I've always believed that there is an energy operating that is not within us, right outside of us, whether you call those, spiritual energies, those that passed on, all of the above. But I really think there is this. And I think that they sometimes come together and they help us raise our consciousness here, even at times when the most ridiculously awful things happen. We have a new level of awareness. Is that what it means to connect with those energies? For example, in a seance, is it to get that level of guidance? Is it to get that level of insight?
Well, I mean, you want to. I mean, one of the things that I talk about is the differences between people who are doing it as a magic show and people who are doing it seriously to connect with spirit. So, yeah, I mean, if you're doing seriously to connect with spirit, you want to get those words of wisdom. You want to hear from the spirit realm, and you want to see what they have to tell you about your life and about other things going on the earth right now.
There's so many things we could talk about, but let's talk about your radio show to sort of set the stage for this. You invite people into your presence, into the show, and connect with our listeners. You open up the phone lines. There's so many things that you're doing. What is it that is inspiring you to move this forward and now raise our level of awareness on seance, on magic, on spirituality? What is it that you're sensing for yourself in doing this and bringing it forward?
Well, a lot, and this is stuff that I've written about.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't understand what spiritualism is, and when you hear seance, they think ghosts, they think negative things. And so a large part of what I'm trying to do is educate people about what this stuff really is, not what they just see on TV.
So from your perspective, tell us what a seance really is.
Well, a seance is really when a group of people get together, and there are some conditions for this. If you're going to do a real seance, it has to be people who like each other. It has to be a harmonious type of group. And they get together, they say prayers, they sing, and they try to what they call raise the vibration so that they get the presence of spirit inside their circle. Now, how does spirit appear? Well, that all depends on the type of circle you have. If you have a home circle, then spirit just may appear by giving people mental messages that they can give to each other. If it's a physical mediumship circle, then objects may fly around the room, voices may be heard from corners of the room, and all kinds of different phenomena take place. Instruments play. Sometimes at Christmas seances, the spirit children, you put a Christmas tree and presents all in the middle of the circle, and the spirit children will come and open up all the presents.
Oh my gosh. What do you think, Dr. Susan, is one of our greatest misconceptions about seances, about magic, and about, what we're calling a spiritualistic seance?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I have to deal with is that for some reason, a lot of people think that what I'm doing is devil worship, which is, it's absolutely the opposite of what we do in spiritualism. And also, some people will say, oh, well, give me the lottery numbers. Aren't you a fortune teller? So those types of things are really big misperceptions. And it's kind of the idea that if you're not part of my religion, then you must be the devil type of thing. And they don't really take the time to find out what spiritualism or seances or all these things are really about.
As we take a look at this, and we're going to be talking more about it today, and we're going to be opening up the phone lines, there are words that people hear quite often. And let's talk about Hollywood and the seance for a minute. As I started out earlier in the show, I really think that the movie Ghost, when it came out, decades ago, opened up the door for a conversation, albeit I'm not sure how accurate that was. It did open up the door for conversation and even belief. Do you think Hollywood helps or hurts our notion of seance?
That's a really, really interesting question. And I have to say that my inspiration for this topic came from watching the TV series The Middle. When I was in England, they run all these old American TV shows. So they run The Middle, and the girl in the middle, if you know the show, Sue, she gets a couple of friends over for a sleepover, and they're like, oh, what should we do? And she goes, well, why don't we have a seance? So they all hold hands and light a candle, and they sit around, and they go, now, who is the spirit? And Sue goes, it's Christopher Columbus. And they're all like, what? Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, he founded America. So they're all kind of nodding off, and Sue's sitting there in the circle, and she sees what appears to be lights going across the room, and it looks like a ship to her. So she's now, oh my God, Christopher Columbus was really here, and she's running around telling everyone that she brought the spirit through of Christopher Columbus. And of course her parents are like, no, don't tell anybody that. And then at the end, very end of the show, her father's standing in the den where they were, and he sees the car lights go across the wall. And of course it looks like a ship. So, yeah, but no, I mean, you do spirits come through? Yes. And I think what happens with some people, which is why they're fearful of it, they're fearful of a negative type of spirit coming through, which doesn't happen to me because I'm on a higher vibration, so I don't attract those types of spirits. But people who don't know what they're doing could.
I love this conversation because, I don't know about you, Dr. Susan, but I got to tell you, I talk to people, and I don't think I live in a weird situation. I mean, my friends are pretty much kind of mainstream, really, to be honest with you, right? Mm-hmm. But almost every one of them can tell you about some kind of encounter. Let me just call it encounter for the moment. When we come back, and we're going to go to the phones, we got people calling in like crazy. We're going to talk about seances and mediums. And, did we get confused? I love Whoopi Goldberg. I just love it. I love that film. Did we get confused in that, or did we get enlightened? Yeah, I love this. I love that you love Hollywood, because I love Hollywood too around this. I'm really a pop culture girl. Let's take a short break. We come back. Yeah. Seance, medium, potato, or are they really different? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Amber Teal, founder of The Healthy Edge, is bringing you the hit show Healthy Edge Radio, living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber provides the support and tools necessary for you to finally release the weight and emotions that are hidden beneath the weight. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information on how you can take the next step with Amber, visit getthehealthyedge.com.
Integrate spirituality into your everyday lives on Universe Soul Heart Radio. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Kathleen Johnson explores the concept of sensible spirituality, keeping you grounded, connected, and centered on the path to wholeness. Kathleen has dedicated her life to facilitating holistic healing and wholeness in others. Listen to Universe Soul Heart Radio and learn how to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. For more information, go to universesoulheart.net.
Live your magnificence, for the love of joy is a precious gift offered to us by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. He takes us on an incredible 30-day adventure to expand our minds and hearts with the nectar of life, love, and joy. This book will help you bring more joy, love, health, abundance, adventure, romance, and magnificence into your life.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper, subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
Hey, did you know why they call the foundation? It's called the foundation because it completely eliminates your foundation for what you thought your reality was and creates a whole new space where you can have an entirely new reality that is foundationless. So from my point of view, they should call it the unfoundation or the foundationlessness. Either way, there's a big new global rewrite happening again because these guys cannot stop changing. There should be like a Change Anonymous that Gary and Dane go to. And it's happening April 28th to May 1st. You can find out about it at accessconsciousness.com/global foundation. It's happening in Paris. Go to Paris or do it online or find a pod near you. These are all the options you have. And what else is possible?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you, Benny. Thank you so much for that. You know, any one of you that have ever seen that movie Ghost, right, Dr. Susan?
Yes.
The minute you hear that song, isn't it amazing how quickly you can see that forever embedded scene between Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore? It will be forever embedded in our consciousness. But more importantly, the journey and the connection of Hollywood, pop culture, and also I want to say global spirituality right now to really looking at what we want more of, what we want to know more of is important. Now we're going to go to phones, Dr. Susan, but before we go, how can folks work with you? How can they find out more about you, radio show, anything else you want to share?
Oh, yes. Well, every week I try to have somebody who is legitimate. And I have had people email me and say, I'm really confused. I've seen these people and it doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, there's a lot of people out there on YouTube doing things that are highly suspect. So if you can get in touch with me, go to my website. I am working on trying to do some more things on Zoom and distance education. So I'm working right now with the Afterlife Research Group, and we're doing lots of Zoom sessions. I will be advertising it through my Facebook page and different ways. But if you go to my website, www.spiritartgallery.net, I have a listing of all of the things that I'm doing. And of course, I do work with people all around the world in different ways online. So if you contact me, I can put you in touch with some of the things I'm doing.
I love it. And, you know, you're going to be connected with Dr. Susan Barnes in more ways than you know. You will be amazed, actually blown away by how absolutely in the forefront of this topic, of her work, of these conversations, and her leadership in this field. It is such an honor to be here and have her on the show. And so for those of you out there where you ever been told that you're crazy, you think you're seeing things, in my case, your visits to Dr. Jacoby, haha on you, Dr. Jacoby. Yeah, I want to say this is the real deal. Mr. Benny.
Angie from Seattle, welcome to the show.
Angie,
actually.
Angie. Hi, Angie.
Hi, this is Angie. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Angie.
Hi.
How can we help you today?
Well, I just wanted sort of like a general reading. I tend to pick up a lot of information myself, but then I go for long stretches and I don't have anything.
Okay. I would say this to you. I would say you're probably picking up psychic information. And if you want to develop it more, you should either go to someone locally who is a respected psychic or medium, or find some of the new online groups that are forming to try to help people become better mediums and understand what's going on more clearly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I used to see premonitions, like visions of people in caskets, and then I'd find out that they died that night. And
you're picking up psychic information, and there is a difference between a psychic and a medium.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah, definitely. So you want to try to learn about that. I mean, there are ways you can develop it. Some people, and I will say I've known several people where this has happened, where their instruction has come from spirit directly. So sitting in meditation and just waiting to hear what that inner voice within you says could also be a big help to you.
Yeah, that would be good. I think the schools you were talking about in England, I think they're probably the best. I haven't picked up on anybody here that seems to be as in tune as the people that have gone there.
Well, you can join me on SNUI, which is part of their group. We are in America, and that's one way to do their training. You can go over to the Arthur Findlay College and study. That's another way to do it. I would suggest that maybe go online first and try to see if you can develop some of your mediumistic skills, and then take a trip to England to work with some of the instructors there, because they're small classes. They're not big group things with 20, 30 people. They're all like 12, 15 people in a group, and the training is much more intensive.
Oh, good. Hey, thanks a lot for your help.
Hey,
You're
Angie.
welcome.
Angie, I have a question for you. Angie, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah.
Okay. So you've heard Dr. Susan and I talk about our pop culture and how much now we have on television, TV, movies about this topic. What are your thoughts?
I think it's good. I think it's exposing people more to the possibility of what it is, and I think it's all good as long as it's not too poltergeist-y or, exorcist type stuff. I think it's good.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. Dr. Susan, before we jump back to our callers, might you again let folks know how they can find out more about you, how they can connect with you directly, and how do they listen to your radio show on transformationtalkradio.com?
Well, the other thing is they can listen to all the archived shows too. They can either go to Transformation Talk Radio, or they can go to my site, www.spiritartgallery.net, and they can get the information there. And I wanted to say that, yes, unfortunately, a lot of the Hollywood movies, when they depict the supernatural, it all has to be in some kind of evil, fearful kind of vein. And I think Ghost really did show that this could have a loving and upbeat and positive type of effect on people. So that's where Hollywood kind of differs a little bit. And even Ghostbusters, I have to say that Dan Aykroyd is a fifth generation spiritualist. His father has written books on spiritualism. The whole idea of ectoplasma that they used in Ghostbusters comes from spiritualism. But of course there's a bit of a negative connotation there, that this is big, it's a funny monster, but it has to do with destruction and things, which is not really what this is all about. Yeah. It's actually about the opposite.
Yeah. And isn't that, Dr. Susan, one of, I think, the most misunderstood aspects of magic, seance, mediumship, and mystery?
I agree. And there is a difference between magic and seance. And I know in the past, historically, a lot of people who were mediums did combine magic with what they do. And we call these people mixed mediums because they use some magic and some real mediumship in their performances.
Mm. Well, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, Jackie, we're going to get right on it. For those of you out there, we have opened up the phone lines. We are doing live readings today with Dr. Susan Barnes. Wow, how amazing is this? 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. When we come back, we're going to go to the phones. But we're also going to get into more detail about seance experiments. What is a seance experiment? How do you do it? Why would you do it? And what you should know from one of the world's leading experts, Dr. Susan Barnes. We'll be right back.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Tune in to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes on Transformation Talk Radio, featuring a variety of spiritual topics such as psychic art, spiritualism, EVP, psychic development, and mediumship. This hit call-in show provides listeners with breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten their lives. Visit spiritartgallery.net.
Tune in each Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune into the wisdom of your soul for guidance on living a joyful life. On Soul Wisdom Radio, Wendy will provide inspiration to raise your vibration and connect with your higher self and guides. Learn how to balance your ego and to progress spiritually on Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com or Transformation Talk Radio to learn more about a healing session with Wendy and her events and publications.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah Van Ryswick as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
Yeah, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Susan Barnes joining me here today. Okay, how many of you did not like the original Ghostbusters deal? Sigourney Weaver, the whole team. Benny, did you see the original?
Oh, it's a classic. Rick Moranis,
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh.
Bill Murray, all those guys.
Oh, yep. Oh, the best. The absolute best. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the ties, the connections to what's going on in our lives. You know, stories we hear, what's out there. We're going to talk about the seance experiment as well. But right now, we've got phone lines open 1-800-930-2819. And I think, Mr. Benny, you have got someone waiting.
Yeah, Jackie's cruising around North Seattle area, Mukilteo. So hello, Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie.
Hi, Benny.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Dr. Pat. Hi, Dr. Susan.
Cool.
I was wondering if I could get you to, I guess what I'm asking in general is there somebody around me that is been trying to communicate with me?
Oh, wow, good.
There's always people around you. And I think what I have to say is for you to identify them. Sometimes when these things happen, and we get lots of signs, we get lots of signs that people are there. Pennies fall, or we find pennies in the middle of nowhere. I find feathers where there should never be any feathers.
Yes.
And so usually what happens is that who is the person you're thinking of? Usually they will come to mind. You know, if it's a mother or a father or a friend or someone, you'll get kind of a feeling around the presence of who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also, I would say too, I think the meditation thing is a good thing. If you can sit quietly and try to clear your mind, then who it is will pop into your mind and let you know they're there.
Mm.
What if it's a name of somebody you've never? I've had this name pop into my head, and I don't know if it's an angel or spirit guide. It's Rupert. It's a name I would never, in my wildest dreams, even connect with.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that does happen. Right, Dr. Susan? You know,
yes.
We think we always have to know everybody, but you and I were just talking about that during the break. So what happens when a name like Rupert does show up for Jackie?
That could be her spirit guide. Everybody has a spirit guide working with them. In fact, there's more than one. Sometimes the guides will tell us their names. Sometimes they won't. I do happen to have names of my guides. So it sounds to me like, again, what you should do is you should sit down, be calm, maybe play a little bit of gentle music, and just concentrate on this name Rupert and see what comes into your mind. You might start to get the image of a person or a guide that is helping you. Usually the guides will appear wearing sometimes very jeweled and visually exciting types of clothes, or sometimes they just come through with a simple robe on. But, again, I would sit down and quiet yourself, quiet your mind, think about Rupert.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's just this has been a name that's come to me, and probably in the last 2 years. In fact, I had a weird thing happen where I was standing in my living room, and whatever this did sort of walked through me. I've never had that happen in my whole life. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, but don't be afraid of it.
No.
It's not fearful. No.
Wow.
I'm not. I'm just excited about it. I'd just like to know more about how to do it. So I'm going to be listening to your show. Thank you.
Awesome. Jackie, thank you. Can we talk about that for a minute, Dr. Susan, what Jackie just said about having an energy or feeling an energy walk through us? Because a lot of times we do feel something like that. We'll feel maybe a brush of air where there's no wind.
Right.
Can you talk about what that is?
Well, I have to say, and I like it, you said, from my point of view, all seances are an experiment. It's an experiment because we're trying to work with spirit. And what happens in these cases is that we as individuals are trying to raise our vibration up higher so that we can communicate with them, and they're trying to lower theirs so they can communicate with us. And they work just as hard as we do to do this. Now, some of the signs that spirit is present is a kind of cool breeze. Lots of times when I'm working, members of my circle will go, "Oh, I'm getting too cold," because they feel that cool breeze from spirit around them. So, it's not a huge wind. It's just like a cool breeze. So that is spirit. Sometimes we sense the presence of another person. For example, in a trance type situation, the mediums often sense the presence of a spirit coming in towards the back of their head or their side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I sense when I'm doing readings, I sense the spirit around me at times too. So they are there, and sometimes people who are sensitive can pick up on it and feel it, but they shouldn't be afraid of it.
I want to let's continue this because we are talking about the experiment as well. For me, I have an experience of I call it getting a knowing. That's what I call it. I literally call it getting a knowing. And what that means is I could be having something that I need to figure it out, even a day or two ago. And for whatever reason, I'm calm enough that I could hear and I get a knowing. It's like a knowing. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't explain it very well.
There's a name for it. It's called claircognizance.
That must be me. I'll tell you, I get a knowing. And if you ask the team here and they see that look in my face when I get a knowing, they're like, uh-oh, here it comes. What are we going to have to do?
No, there is, but it's one of, well, we talked about it in mediumship. There are a number of, they call them clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance is all one of them, clairaudience. But it is, and that was the first sign I had too, was just that I would know things.
Yeah.
And people I couldn't explain where or how I'd learned about them. I just knew them. And that is a type of psychic phenomena.
Yeah. This all leads to us really continuing the conversation about the seance experiment and what it means for our listeners and what they should do, right? Because you and I are talking about those that feel a presence should call in and describe it. And I just shared an example with me. Of course, we had Jackie call in. And by the way, we're taking all of the calls that, for those of you out there, 1-800-930-2819, taking your call here to connect you with Dr. Susan. But we believe Linda's mom leaves pennies. Seriously leaves pennies.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like you would think, Dr. Susan, like a random penny on the ground. I went to a meeting about 2 months ago, and at the end of the meeting, I was volunteered to do cleanup. At the end, these are big tables, right? Big round tables. At the end of the meeting, there was on 4 of the tables, 4 of them that were in almost like a square in conjunction to themselves, a penny smack dab in the middle, all heads up. Now, look, people leave change. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a penny, a shiny penny in the middle of the table.
Well, the other thing that's telling is that they were all heads up.
They were all heads up,
because statistically they shouldn't have been.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, there's 2 sides to a penny.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
People leave pennies on tables. Half of them should be tails down.
Wow. But it's like they were dead center in the middle of the table. It was really eerie. I had a little eerie moment, when I was looking around and, making my final sweep to turn the lights off. I look if people leave anything under the tables, just gather things. And there these 4 tables were. I didn't know what to make of it. I still don't.
Well, I mean, I would say this to you. You think it was Linda's mother?
Yeah, because Joan has always talked about pennies. She always gets our attention that way.
So I would say that it might have been time to call her daughter or just check in on her daughter. She was trying to give you a message for her somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you this, and I know this hour goes by so quickly. I want to talk about what's happening in the world today. Who are the people conducting seances, and what should our listeners really, really know about seance in the past and seance in the future? What is groundbreaking here now.
All right, let's do the groundbreaking part first.
Okay.
In the past, most seances, the medium would create this substance called ectoplasma, which looks nothing like Ghostbusters, but it's a substance that comes out of the medium's body, and it's used to move things around. In the most extreme case, the ectoplasma may come out of the medium and form the image of a deceased loved one and person, and I have seen photographs of this, and it's pretty amazing. Today, though, what's happening is that instead of using ectoplasma, mediums are now using energy, and it's through the energy that this phenomena is being created. And I've actually witnessed this, where one medium through energy materialized a hand. So it looked like a human hand. I have to say there was a little bit of a deformity on it, so I knew it wasn't quite human, but it was a hand. It grabbed my hand, it shook my hand, it squeezed my hand. It looked real. It looked very real. So that's kind of on, what did I say, on the technical end of things, where things are going. Now, on the other level, what we're trying to do with the Afterlife Research Association is we're trying to start collecting or knowing about some of the people that are doing physical mediumship, and we're finding them all around the country. And I am doing a meetup this summer in Lilydale for people who are doing physical mediumship. So it's around, I would say that AREI is one group to look into if you're trying to do it. There are also mediums that go around the United States in different places and do seances and conduct these types of things. I would just tell people, if they want to try it on their own, just make sure they say prayers and they do it in a positive way.
We're going to take a short break, everyone. Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house. When we come back, we're going to talk about something we kind of brushed by earlier, but I want to get back to visit it, and that's magic. Magic. Our fascination with magic, our fear of magic. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Winning at the game of money. Lynn Brown is now offering Full Spectrum Finance, a progressive 12-month program that will help you to navigate through the mechanics of financial expansion. Finally, a financial planner who looks at the full spectrum of money and abundance. Engage you in the mental, physical, and energetic aspects of finance. This is Full Spectrum Finance. Are you ready to get into it? For more information, go to fullspectrumfinance.com.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.
Oh, Penny, thank you. Hey, Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house. Now, listen, before we get going, one more time, how can people find out more about you? And then we're going to talk about magic.
Oh, yes. All my information is available on my website, which is www.spiritartgallery.net. And I'll even put some of the Zoom stuff that I'm doing up there so people can get in touch with me that way too. So.
Oh, great. Listen, we have talked about a lot. This is so interesting to me. I was sharing a story during the break about, I don't know what year. I think it was 2005. I had an idea to create magic cards, but they were not just going to be magic cards. They were going to be more about energy healing magic cards. And I Googled it at the time, and I found a woman, Sylvia Hartman, and I found her magic cards. And I picked up the phone and I called her. She's in the UK. And I said, I was going to do the magic cards kind of like you did, but I really don't want to do what you've already done. She says, well, I'm not really going to do these. So here, take them. You create this. You create what they should mean. Here, take them. And I did. But what I shared with you is I didn't move ahead with them. About a week ago, or actually it was this week, I had a knowing to look at them again. Now you're going to talk about what that possibly could mean. But also, it really is, Dr. Susan, in the context of magic.
Well, you have to see, and I think, magic also gets conflated with witchcraft.
Oh, yeah.
I think with the term magic, there's a connotation that you're tricking people, that you're not really showing them the truth. And I'll just do this. The problem with witchcraft from a spiritualist perspective is that in witchcraft, you're trying to cast spells to make people do things. And in spiritualism, you realize you can't make people do things. People are going to do whatever they're going to do because it's their personal responsibility. So there is a negative connotation with some of the stuff that's magic. And as a spiritualist perspective, you don't want to deal with anything negative. You want to only deal with the positive. Because positive breeds positive and negative will breed negative. So, it could have been a feeling you had at the time that you weren't sure what the images totally meant, and you didn't want to put them out there for everybody. So, that's what I would think. Yeah. And now as you go back and you look at them, and your intention is good. It's a healing intention. What you may want to do is you may want to sit down, like I've told some of our listeners today, sit down with each image and kind of clear your mind and meditate on it and see what the image tells you. And some of them you may want to use and some of them you may not.
You know, I don't think it's a mistake that I rediscovered these again, and here we are talking about it today on the show. And I think there's an area that we don't talk about, and I would love for you to clarify, and that is this idea of magic and magic seance.
Well, I mean, I think that here's the problem. Throughout history, as soon as physical medium, who's supposed to make all these crazy things happen, go and start doing performances, and there's a rich history of these performances in popular culture, then people start expecting something to happen. And then your seance can no longer be an experiment. It has to be, a kind of set show. And at that point, a lot of mediums will start to use magic tricks in their seances just so that the audiences stay happy. And that's how it becomes what we call mixed mediumship. But in a true experimental seance, we go into it without expecting anything. Whatever happens is what's going to happen. Now, for example, they're really crazy. In my seances, they keep levitating my legs. They take my legs up in the air, and the people are looking at me. My stomach's not contracted. The legs are just up in the air. I'm not feeling anything. And so that's what they're doing. Eventually, I don't know if they're going to levitate all of me, but we'll see. Again, that's an experiment, but I'm not using any kind of tricks to do it. I mean, and some of the tricks are they'll use the phosphorescent lights to move around the room so it looks like there's a light jumping around the room. The medium themselves will be in all black and dark, and they'll be dressed in black, so they'll actually move around the room and make people feel things. One of the big issues with seances, and this is the issue in England, is whether they're in light or in total darkness.
Oh, wow.
Seances in total darkness are always suspect. Always suspect. Seances where we'll have, I use a red light because you need a red light to be able to see transfiguration. And I don't want anyone to think there's any fraud going on. So seances, all of these things have been done in natural light too. Historically, it's there. So it doesn't have to be black, but if it is black, then there's always some suspect that something funny's going on, some magic's going on, not mediumship.
What should people do then? What should people do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have found myself in situations where something doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. It doesn't feel right. So what do we tell people to do? I know for myself, I've walked up and I've walked out. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. But for me, it was like, okay, this doesn't feel right.
You can't walk out of a seance.
Okay.
So you're kind of stuck there. And I mean, there are some people that I just outright know are using magic tricks and not their mediumistic skills.
Oh, okay.
And other people, and I've mentioned this, and other people are like, no, they're real.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this maybe wasn't like a real seance.
No, I mean, usually what happens, and I'm using the term mixed medium much more often these days.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's like there's somebody really big, I won't name the person, who I know is a mixed medium. And I know it from photographs. I mean, there's some photographs of his work where he's created ectoplasma, and it looks like historical ectoplasma. There's other pictures of his work where the ectoplasma looks like Halloween cobwebs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know that he's cheating it sometimes,
Yeah,
But
I
what
just
do you
don't
say?
understand the end game in that.
No, because what I have to say as a spiritualist is the fact that they're doing this, they're going to have to answer to. It's their personal responsibility. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And especially if they're doing it and making money. You know, that's the way I stay out of it. All of my seances that I do at my house in the Dale are for free.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody, and people will say, can I rent your seance room? It's like, no, it's not for rent. It's not for rent because it's all an experiment. I can't guarantee what's going to happen. I mean, we do get table tipping. We do get transfiguration. We do get cool breezes coming in and out. We get a little levitation. But I can't guarantee any of or all of that's going to happen when somebody comes for a seance.
Wow. My gosh, we've talked about so much. I can't believe the hour has gone by so quickly. Thank you for today. Again, please give out your website. And one last question. What is your personal message? Wow, this hour flew by.
My personal message is to think positive and be supportive of things and keep yourself in a good frame of mind.
Dr. Susan Barnes, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. Get ready for another hour on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll see you.
Thank you.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.